Good night, sweetheart. All my prayers are for you. Good night, sweetheart. I'll be watching over you. Tears and parting may make us forlorn, but with the dawn, a new day is born.
If that's you, Mrs. Bloss, I'm afraid I must remain deaf to your blandishments. No, my body is a temple of purity. Even if you offer to reduce my rent...
Gary, it's me!
Oh. Good morning. I wasn't... What's wrong?
Oh, Gary, this came this morning.
From Donald.
From the brewery. They want me out. They say the tenancy agreement was with Dad, and they've only been letting me stay on pro tem. What does that mean, Gary, pro tem?
It's Latin. It means for the time being.
Well, why can't they blooming well say so? What am I going to do? They've got a tenant lined up already, apparently. He's been with the brewery 30 years. He just got bombed out.
Even so, they can't just sling you out.
Well, this says they can. And he's a man with a family. Maybe he's more entitled.
What, more entitled than a woman whose husband is incarcerated because he chose to serve his queen?
Queen?
I mean, king. Well, I mean, he's probably serving both of them.
Well, can hardly use Donald as an excuse. Not the way things are now. It wouldn't be right.
Well, no, but the Royal Oak's your pub. You must write and tell them. Tell them that place is your home.
I can't write.
Well, Phoebe, I didn't realise. Well, I mean, you can read. I assumed you could write.
I mean, I don't know what words to use.
Oh, sorry. Well, OK, I'll write it. Look, they're not going to throw you out. Don't worry.
Well, you carry on. You sure you ain't got a crystal ball?
Surely you'd have noticed. And I find it morally indefensible to evict the orphan of a loyal tenant of the brewery, especially... Oh, bugger.
How was Leipzig?
Didn't hear you coming.
What are you doing?
Losing a wrestling match.
Well, what's wrong with the computer? You spent enough on it.
Well, yeah, but I saw this old typewriter in a junk shop for £5 and it suddenly struck me.
Oh, that explains it. You're concussed.
No, what I mean is this used to be a great manufacturing centre of the world.
What? Cricklewood?
No, Great Britain. We made everything. Cars, typewriters, sewing machines, wirelesses, Meccano sets, everything. And do you know what the lead story in the papers was this morning? A Korean company is opening in England because our workers accept lower wages than the ones in Seoul. We're turning into a third world nation and I'm making a stand.
You're making a mess.
And finally, building workers in the East End today walked off site after a ghostly figure suddenly materialised from nowhere as they were excavating. The workers claim he was dressed in World War II clothes and when challenged responded by singing a chorus of "There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover" before vanishing. I hope you keep your spirits up tonight too. Good evening.
You see, that's why we're turning into a third world country, because building workers will come up with any old excuse to damn tools and go up to the boozer for the afternoon.
Well, you don't think they really could have seen a ghost?
Oh, Gary, you're so gullible. There's no such thing.
Oh, no, I just think we should keep an open mind.
Oh, Gary. Oh, Gary, that's either brick dust or you've got red dandruff.
Yeah, you would not believe the air pollution in East Germany.
I do miss you, you know, when you go away.
Well, I miss you too. But it's nice.
Gary.
Because it's fun when I come home again.
Oh, I'll go and get the dinner on.
Yeah, all right. Yvonne, is that a new coat?
Yeah, new expensive coat. Why?
No, it's nice.
Yes?
Gary Compton, Tower Hamlets Council Environmental Safety Officer. Now, I understand...
been in the safety game long? So what do you want?
To start with, I'm obliged to inspect your toilet facilities.
We don't have any.
Yeah, that's what I was led to believe. So, what do your men do if they need to relieve themselves?
They go up your office and take a dump in your drawer. Any objection?
There's no need for that attitude. I'm only trying to do my job.
Then you won't mind if I get on with mine.
Who's he then?
Ah, some officious pilot from the council. I don't know. Oh my God. What? I just remember where I've seen him before. He's the bloody ghost.
You must use the Force, Skywalker. What's that, Red? You have a curry last night? What's the matter with him?
Well, as soon as his ear got better, he developed this allergy to house dust. Want a drink?
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, Phoebe, have you got a stamp? It's just, got my letter to the brewery here, and it's red hot. It's going to put the cat amongst the pigeons, I can promise you.
Mrs. Bamford, I'm a busy man.
Sorry. Gary, this is George Harrison.
No, it isn't. The hair's all wrong for a start.
I beg your pardon?
Yes. Sorry, just a private joke. Pleased to meet you, George. So what's your line of business?
Area manager for Hanbury Truman.
The brewery.
Oh, right. Well, I've got a letter here for you. And what brings you here, then, eh? Can't wait to throw this poor girl out on her ear?
Mr. Spammo.
No, that's Sparrow.
I'm here because I'm concerned. I knew Mrs. Bamford's father personally, God rest him. Eric and me were members of the same lodge. So when, unfortunately, my superiors told me how to put a new tenant in, well, I came round to commiserate.
Yeah, he's commiserating when you arrived.
There's got to be something you can do. I mean, you must have another pub you can put your bombed-out tenant into.
Well, one or two, but nothing like the Royal Oak. And besides, it's against brewery policy to give the tenancy to a woman. I mean, the customers just don't like it.
You wouldn't say that if you knew the Rover's return. All right. I should just have to appeal to your superiors.
It won't do any good. I have complete discretion in the running of my area.
Complete discretion as long as you don't have to use your initiative, eh?
That's the ticket.
And is this the attitude that made this country great? Can you imagine Winston Churchill evicting this trustworthy, hard-working woman? Or the King? A man who has chosen to stay in London and share the privation of his subjects?
Why didn't you put any of this in your letter?
Because the ribbon broke.
What you say has moved me, Mr. Spammo.
Sparrow.
Where do you find it, Mrs. Bamford? I know how hard it can be for a woman alone. My mother struggled to bring up 7 after our dad copped it in the Boer War. But, Phoebe, you don't mind if I call you Phoebe, do you?
No, of course not, Mr. Harrison.
George, please. It's lonely here on your own.
Oh, well, it can be sometimes.
My job's a bit on the lonesome side too. Always on the road, sleeping in scruffy hotels. When I get home, it's not much better. The war has played havoc on Mrs. Harrison's nerves, and on top of that, well, she's got to the age where she's not particularly interested in a healthy married life. If you catch my drift.
Of course, day after tomorrow, the old helmet comes out again. Back on duty at long last. Back doing my bit to keep the home front safe and secure whilst our brave lads face an implacable foe overseas.
Ah, so the year's finally better then, eh?
Come again? Looks like they might be sorting something out after all.
I don't know. I smell a rat, Reg.
Shouldn't do. I've fumigated and put down bleach.
I think you better go.
I'll pop back on Wednesday afternoon. You think it over, Phoebe. It could be a mutually convenient arrangement.
Phoebe, what was all that about?
I don't want to talk about it, thank you very much.
Phoebe?
I'd leave her for a minute if I was you, son.
But she's upset.
In my experience, when a woman's upset, it's best to steer a wide berth for a couple of hours. Or weeks.
In your experience. Excuse me, but aren't you the Reg Deadman whose wife has romantically wrestled soldiers, airmen, and the merchant mariners of all the friendly nations? Not to mention the odd civilian.
Odds the word. One eye, surgical boot. Did that stop her? But you don't want to hear my troubles.
No, I don't. One day I will listen to your troubles, Reg, I promise. They make a great musical. Don't tell me. He tried it on.
He's got a nerve. Do you know what he said? He said this landlord over Silverton doesn't even know about the Royal Oak yet. And if I play my cards right, there's no reason why he should know.
OK, I'll write to the brewery. He'll be out on his ear.
It'll be my word against his. He'll just deny it. It'll be me out in the street.
No, don't worry. Everything's...
Gary, now if you say it will be all right just one more time, I shall hit you. Look, you've got friends in high places, contacts. There must be something you can do.
Well, yeah. Yeah. OK, don't worry. It'll be...
Gary.
It'll be sorted out.
Come on in. What are you scared of? Nothing worth nicking, is there? They got a compressor. That's a lot of use. Well, your bottle's gone. I ain't scared of no ghost. I ain't scared of no ghost.
Good evening.
But on the radio, they said the ghost spoke to them.
No, Yvonne, you were right the other night. There's no such thing as ghost.
Oh, I don't know. I like to think I've got an open mind. And what about those 4 kids they interviewed?
Probably on glue.
Yeah, but they all gave the same description.
They were sticking together.
Christmas cracker companies pay good money for jokes like that, you know, sometimes as much as 3 pence. So if you could sell, what, 5,000 jokes, you could replace that new jacket you ruined.
Dry cleaners couldn't get the ink off it.
No, but for a tenner they'll dye it black.
Hello? Yes, that's right. Who shall I say is calling? Mary Cunningham? No, I'm sorry, she just popped out to a phobia workshop. Yeah, all right, calm down. Who is she, Yvonne? She's hysterical.
Well, she's just some silly typist from the office who's convinced Duncan Granger from accounts is sexually harassing her.
Well, couldn't he be?
Well, he don't need to harass anyone, he's drop-dead gorgeous. Even I keep adding me expenses up wrong in the hope he'll come and sit on my desk for half an hour. You know, even through his shapeless Armani trousers, you can see he's got thighs like Michelangelo's David.
Yeah, all right, all right. No, I'm sorry, she's gone. Can I take a message? Yeah? Let me just make a note of this. You're convinced that Mr. Granger is parked outside your flat watching you again, and no one ever believes you. You don't know which way to turn, and if it goes on any longer, you're going to take an overdose.
Come here. Mary. No, of course I'm not phobic. You don't want to listen to Gary as an idiot.
Oh, thanks, Yvonne.
Mary, I do believe you're very distressed. Look, if you say he's parked outside, of course I believe you. Why don't you come and see me first thing in the morning? I'll be there for you, Mary, I promise. You are not alone. No, I'm not referring to Mr. Granger. Now, promise you won't do anything stupid. Everything's going to be all right, OK?
What did she say to convince you?
Oh, I don't believe her. She's barking. I'm just humouring her. I mean, why should someone like Duncan bother with some mousy little typist with a squint?
Oh, appalled. What a sexist reaction.
I beg your pardon?
Well, just because this Duncan is a hunk, you can't believe he could also be a sex pest? And harassment isn't a sexual thing, anyway. It's to do with power, with terrorising the weak. You take it from me.
And why should I take it from you? I am a trained personnel manager. You're a former television repairman scratching a living selling glossy brochures.
Oh, and I'm sure the difference in our status will be a great comfort to you at the coroner's hearing.
What do you want me to do?
Oh, I don't know. I'm only a former television repairman.
What, you really think she could be telling the truth? I suppose we could wire her up.
Well, that's a bit drastic, isn't it? No, it's not her fault, after all.
No, I mean, plant a little tape recorder on her.
What, so when he harasses her again, it can play a loop that says, "Not tonight, I've got a headache"?
So if he really tries it on, we've got some hard evidence.
Yvonne, that is a brilliant idea. You are amazing. Mwah, outstanding.
Why are you so happy?
No reason.
Oh, well, there's nothing else for it. I don't know how I'm going to tell Gary, though.
You're not giving in to Harrison's vile demands.
No, of course not, Reg. I mean, joining up, becoming a WEF or something. And at least I'll get my bed and board taken care of.
Hello? Worry not. Gary is here.
Gary, I've reached a decision. I'm going to join up.
Join up what? Reggie's mouth to his brain?
Reggie!
See?
I'm trying to be serious, Gary. What else can I do?
Well, you could visit Tomorrow's World today.
Beg pardon?
What's that?
Tape recorder.
Well, I'm none the wiser.
Well, it's the latest secret American technology. Say something.
Hey? What do you mean, say something? What do you want me to say? Hey? What do you mean, say something? What do you want me to say?
Ye gods and little fishes. Can I see that?
Yeah, be careful.
American? Says here, made in Japan.
Well, yeah, I mean, that shows how secret it is. But the name is the giveaway if you can break the code. Sonny, see? Stands for Somewhere Outside New York.
Very clever. Very clever.
So when's Loverboy Harrison coming in?
Any moment now. He said Wednesday afternoon.
Does he know that Reg is in the police force?
No, he's only ever seen me in mufti. How could he guess?
Yeah, that's true. No one would ever guess. Even in uniform, it's a bit touch and go.
Here he comes now.
Look, play along with him. We'll have every word on tape.
Okay.
Afternoon, Phoebe. I must say you're looking as debonair as ever. So, you've had time to sleep on my suggestion. I only wish I could have slept on it with you.
Oh, you sauce box, Mr. Harrison.
George, please, I told you. Well?
Well, of course, you're a very attractive man, George.
Thank you, my dear.
And it is true it can get terribly lonely for a girl on her own, but what exactly is it you're suggesting?
Well, I thought I made myself clear.
Well, not really. All you said was Mrs. Harrison wasn't interested in bedroom things. Now, for all I know, you could be asking my advice about eiderdowns and bolsters.
Oh, you little tease. I see we're going to get on this famously. Right, cards on the table. I'll bring my pyjamas and shaving things. Pop in 2 or 3 nights a week. Obviously, I'll chip in with some rations for breakfast.
Oh, I see. Oh, I completely got the wrong end of the stick. You want to rent a room?
Don't Phoebe. You know what I want.
Yeah, but a girl likes to be asked nicely.
All right. I want you. I want to sleep with you.
In exchange for letting me keep the tenancy?
Yes, although I wouldn't have put it in quite such brutal terms.
And if I don't sleep with you, I can't keep the tenancy?
Yeah, it's about the size of it, girl.
Gary, I think we've got enough.
Hey, you sure?
Oh, yes.
What are you two up to? What's going on here?
Reg?
Yes, although I wouldn't put it in quite such brutal terms.
But if I don't sleep with you, I can't keep the tenancy.
That's about the size of it, girl.
So, not only did he make lewd suggestions, he actually exposed himself.
I did nothing of the sort.
I'm afraid it's all on the tape. That's about the size of it, girl. Constable Deadman, I'm giving you this for safekeeping. Mark it Exhibit A.
Oh, but you don't understand. My home life is hell. My wife doesn't understand me.
Don't talk to me about wives not understanding people. That's no excuse for preying on defenceless young ladies. George Harrison, you're not obliged to say anything.
Reg, what are you doing?
I'm arresting him, of course.
You can't arrest him. You'll blow my cover.
Oh, sorry. All right, then, hop it. Count yourself lucky.
Yes. You won't say anything to the brewery, will you?
Well, that depends. If Phoebe keeps the tenancy. Oh, and gets a couple of free barrels of beer a week, paid for by you personally.
But that's...
Blackmail?
Constable!
Would you call it blackmail, Reg?
Sorry, son, my eardrums flared up again.
Oh, my hero, come here. Oh, I'm never saying anything personal to you anymore. I'll never know what you got in your pocket.
Well, no, but we could always nip up to your flat and find out.
You cheeky monkey, you trying it on?
Yes.
I really love you, Gary.
Well done, son.
What?
Sorting out that Harrison.
Oh.
She's like the daughter I never had, that one. Good to know she's in safe hands, if you'll pardon the expression.
Well, just this one, Reg.
Listen, son, I know it's difficult in your line of business, but you will be here Saturday, won't you?
Why Saturday?
Phoebe's birthday. I know she puts on a brave front, but she'll be heartbroken if you don't make it.
Saturday. Yeah, right.
Yvonne?
I'm upstairs.
You're right. Feeling up last night?
Yeah, I feel great. Just fancied an early night.
Oh?
With my husband. Come here, Gary.
Why?
So I can give you a big kiss.
And why would you want to do that?
Oh, Gary, you were right about Mary Cunningham and Duncan Granger. I mean, what a creep. Sitting on people's desks and showing off his thighs.
Oh, right. What happened?
Well, we might marry up and sent her to his office to take down dictation.
And that wasn't the only thing you wanted her to take down?
Exactly. And Mr. Littlejohn, the managing director, called him into his office and we played him the tape. Now, at first, he pretended not to recognise his own voice. I mean, as if. So distinctive. It's like honey. So warm and mellifluous.
All right.
Well, and then he started to bluster. He said if you can't sit outside someone's house and take the odd photo of them in the garden, then what kind of a world are we living in? And Mr. Littlejohn said, the kind of world in which you'd better start looking for another job. And then he stormed out. And then Mr. Littlejohn said to me, well done, Yvonne, and I'll get a gold star at my next performance review. And that's when I decided on an early night to thank you nicely. And I've taken tomorrow morning off as well, so we can catch up on some sleep.
Yeah, I can't lie in tomorrow. I've got this seriously important breakfast meeting.
Oh, and I thought you might want to have breakfast in bed.
Well, I'll just have a shower. Two women, half a century apart, both crazy for you. You do not deserve this. Oh, excuse me, madam. Would you be interested in signing my petition? It's against redeveloping this historic part of London's Old East End.
Historical? It's horrible. It's always been horrible. Pull the whole thing down, that's what I'd say.
I'll have to put you down as I don't know then, shall I?
Excuse me.
Oh, hello. Would you like to sign?
Oh, sorry, I'm from the BBC.
I see. And you're not allowed to have your own opinion?
Under the present regime, it's not advisable. But that's not why I'm here. Have you been doing this for long?
What, collecting names? No, it's the first day.
So you haven't seen the ghost?
No, I haven't. But I'm not surprised if restless spirits have been interfered with.
Really?
Gary, can I say something?
A lot of people round here died during the Blitz. That's why we're campaigning to have this building work stopped. They could be disturbing unseen forces.
I see.
Gary, I think that...
Experts will tell you it is asking for trouble. They are digging up the unmarked graves of victims of violence. They're stirring up something dark, something terrible.
You said experts. What experts?
Stephen King.
Ah, I see.
Well, wait a minute. Sorry, Ron, what were you going to say?
Only that you're making a prat of yourself. But even you probably realise that. Come on, I'll buy you a pint. Or would you prefer a spirit?
What am I going to do, Ron? Suppose we can't stop them building here. I'll never see Phoebe again. A lot of people round here died during the Blitz, and that is why we are campaigning to stop this building work. They could be disturbing unseen forces.
Is that enough, or would you like to see it again in slow motion, or we can do half speed, quarter speed, frame at a time, black and white or colour?
Yvonne.
You said you had an important breakfast meeting, and who should be on the local news?
Yvonne?
Why did you lie to me?
I didn't. I did have a breakfast meeting. Ron and I had bacon butties while we were collating the signatures.
Why? Why did you turn down a morning in bed with me to annoy passers-by outside a building site?
Have you seen what they're doing? It's horrible. Another slice of London's history condemned to the scrap heap. I felt I had to do something.
Oh, but honestly, blethering on about ghosts and spirits.
Well, somebody had to make a stand.
That's what I wanted you to do this morning. So do you think your pathetic demonstration achieved anything?
No, not yet.
Oh, you're not going back.
I must. It's Saturday tomorrow. I mean, West Ham are playing at home and their supporters will sign anything.
It's madness trying this in broad daylight.
This way, with a bit of luck, security guards will have dozed off. Oh, no. Where did they come from?
Huntington.
What?
Huntington, near York. A mate of mine used to work for them.
What do we do now?
Go home and get back to bed.
No. We break in and find an alternate route.
Why ask my opinion if you're only going to ignore it? What are we looking for?
1941, of course. Oh, no, that's not fair. There should be a sign. Did you see a sign on saying guard dogs patrol this site? Because I did not see a sign.
Gary, signs don't matter. Getting an arse full of Rottweiler Nashes, that's what matters. Come on. Hurry up! Bloody hell. Move over, Doctor Who. Nothing ventured. Be nice when it's finished, won't it?
Good morning, lady. Any room for a refugee escaping from the smell of Mrs. Bloss's cooking?
Gary, you're up early.
I wanted to be the first to wish you happy birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Phoebe. And... ta-da!
Now, that is the smallest one I've ever seen.
Well, there is a war on, you know. There you go. All right, birthday girl. Blow it out and make a wish. What did you wish for?
What do you think? I do miss you when you go away, Gary.
I know. I wish I could be here all the time.
Hey, Gary, now I've told you before. I don't need any explanations. I know you're not like that George Harrison. Whenever he's away from his wife for a couple of nights, she knows what he's up to.
How would she know?
Well, deep down inside, a woman always knows. Piece of cake?
Piece of cake. I wish it was, Phoebe. I only wish it was.
Good night, sweetheart. Sleep will banish sorrow. Good night, sweetheart. Till we meet tomorrow. Dreams and fold you. In and will I'll fold you. Good night, sweetheart. Good night.
My home life is hell. My wife doesn't understand me.
Don't talk to me about wives not understanding people. That's no excuse for preying on defenceless young ladies. George Harrison, you're not obliged to say anything.
Reg, what are you doing?
I'm arresting him, of course.
You can't arrest him. You'll blow my cover.
Oh, sorry. All right, then, hop it. Count yourself lucky.
Yes. You won't say anything to the brewery, will you?
Well, that depends. If Phoebe keeps the tenancy. Oh, and gets a couple of free barrels of beer a week, paid for by you personally.
But that's...
Blackmail.
Constable! Would you call it blackmail, Reg?
Sorry, son, my eardrums flared up again.
Oh, my hero, come here. Oh, I'm never saying anything personal to you anymore. I'll never know what you got in your pocket.
Well, no, but we could always nip up to your flat and find out.
You cheeky monkey, you trying it on?
Yes. Not going to throw you out, don't worry.
Well, you carry on. You sure you ain't got a crystal ball?
Surely you'd have noticed. And I find it morally indefensible to evict the orphan of a loyal tenant of the brewery, especially as... Oh, bugger.
How was Leipzig?
Didn't hear you coming.
What are you doing?
Losing a wrestling match.
Well, what's wrong with the computer? You spent enough on it.
Well, yeah, but I was inside your flat watching you again. And no one ever believes you. You don't know which way to turn. And if it goes on any longer, you're going to take an overdose.
Mary. No, of course I'm not phobic. You don't want to listen to Gary as an idiot.
Oh, thanks, Yvonne.
Mary, I do believe you're very distressed. Look, if you say he's parked outside, of course I believe you. Why don't you come and see me first thing in the morning? I'll be there for you, Mary, I promise. You are not alone. No, I'm not referring to Mr. Granger. Now, promise you won't do anything stupid. Everything's going to be all right, OK?
What did she say to convince you?
Oh, I don't believe her. She's barking. I'm just humouring her. I mean, why should someone like Duncan bother with some mousy little typist with a squint?
I'm appalled. What a sexist reaction.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, just because this Duncan is a hunk, you can't believe he could also be a sex pest? And harassment isn't a sexual thing, anyway. It's to do with power, with terrorising the weak. You take it from me.
And why should I take it from you? I am a trained personnel manager. You're a former television repairman scratching a living selling glossy brochures.
Oh, and I'm sure the difference in our status will be a great comfort to you at the coroner's hearing.
What do you want me to do?
Oh, I don't know. I'm only a former television repairman.
What, you really think she could be telling the truth? I suppose we could wire her up.
Well, that's a bit drastic, isn't it? No, it's not her fault, after all.
No, I mean, plant a little tape recorder on her.
What, so when he harasses her again, it can play a loop that says, "Not tonight, I've got a headache"?
So if he really tries it on, we've got some hard evidence.
Yvonne, that is a brilliant idea. You are amazing. Outstanding.
Why are you so happy?
No reason.
Oh, well, there's nothing else for it. I don't know how I'm going to tell Gary, though.
You're not giving in to Harrison's vile demands.
No, of course not, Reg. I mean, joining up, becoming a wife or something. And at least I'll get my bed and board taken care of.
Hello? Worry not. Gary is here.
Gary, I've reached a decision. I'm going to join up.
Join up what? Reggie's mouth to his brain?
Reggie!
See?
I'm trying to be serious, Gary. What else can I do?
Well, you could visit Tomorrow's World today.
Beg pardon?
What's that?
Tape recorder.
Well, I'm none the wiser.
Well, it's the latest secret American technology. Say something.
Hey? What do you mean, say something? What do you want me to say? Hey? What do you mean, say something? What do you want me to say?
Ye gods and little fishes. Can I see that?
Yeah, be careful.
American? Says here, made in Japan.
Well, yeah, I mean, that shows how